Hello everyone, this is Someone Talks About Something. I'm someone, you're someone, we're all someone. And today, the something we're going to be talking about is the truth behind probably the two most mysterious characters throughout all of FNAF. Yep, that's right, the Mimic and Glamrock Freddy. No, okay, don't worry. Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy is who we're going to be talking about. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, for those of you that don't know, in the second installment of the FNAF franchise, FNAF 2, there is a rare Easter egg where on the left side of your office, you can see RWQFSFASXC. Nailed it. Well, that's his canon name at least, but I'm going to refer to him as Shadow Bonnie for the rest of the video. Next, in another rare Easter egg on camera 8, the parts and service room, you can see a shadow version of Freddy, which looks eerily similar to everyone's favorite Mr. Clickbait himself, Golden Freddy. And it's that right there that got me going down this rabbit hole to discover the truth behind these two animatronics, that Shadow Freddy looks very similar to Golden Freddy. Now, if you're sitting there and watching and thinking, so what? Why does that matter? I am so glad you asked, because it is my theory that these shadow animatronics are the spirits of two performers who died while performing at the first Freddy's location, Fredbear's Family Diner. Because of, well, as Phone Guy put it,
after learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
I know Matt Pat from the amazing channel Game Theory in his FNAF Ultimate Timeline says this Phone Guy call is talking about the aftermath of the bite of 83. However, to me that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because Phone Guy says, quote, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees. Now, tell me, why would the suits be seen as unsafe for employees if they were talking about the aftermath of Mike putting his little brother, the crying child, in the mouth of Fredbear? They wouldn't. It would have to be something involving an incident with the employees being harmed, because if it was something with the crying child being bit, they would say the suits have been deemed unsafe for customers, not for employees, so it has to be an incident involving employees being harmed. Now, before we get further into this theory, I know some of you may be hanging to the comments to say, oh, this is not an original idea. People have been suggesting these theories. And yeah, I will fully admit that, yes. In researching this, I have seen a bunch of people talking about these different shadow animatronics. But the thing is this, they always just throw it out there or talk a little bit about it, but provide like almost no evidence. And that's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is suggest this theory, but provide with enough information to support the theory. So instead of going down to the comments to type what I just said, consider spring locking that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and I'd really appreciate it. And back to the theory. Now, why do I think the Shadow Animatronics are two performers who got killed at Fredbear's Family Diner? First, answer me this. Who are the two animatronics at Fredbear's Family Diner? Bonnie and Freddy. Now, answer me this. Who are the two Shadow Animatronics? Bonnie and Freddy. Now, you might think that this is just a coincidence, but like I said earlier, who does Shadow Freddy look eerily similar to? Golden Freddy, who is believed to be Fredbear, who's one of the two original performers from Fredbear's Family Diner. And if you need proof that Golden Freddy is Fredbear, look in Ultimate Custom Night, where if you set Golden Freddy to a difficulty level of 1 and use the death coin on him, instead of getting the classic Golden Freddy jump scare, you instead get jump scared by Fredbear. And proof that this is Fredbear jump scaring you and not some other animatronic, it is a golden bear who wears a purple bow tie and a purple hat, which is the exact design of Fredbear. Now, look at the design of Shadow Bonnie. Well, you may say, well, hey, look, they just look like Toy Bonnie. Theory disproved, theory over, the end. You're wrong. Ha ha ha. And I get that, okay? But that's not the case. Yes, that was a huge bump in the road when I was trying to research for this theory, that the Ultimate Guide called out that it looks like Toy Bonnie and stuff, and the Wikipedia page and other websites pointed out that it looks like Toy Bonnie. But the thing is, there's flaws in this, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, let's see. Both are bunnies, so check, yes. And both have the same face shape, so check. But besides that, the similarities end. For example, if you look at the mouths of the two characters, they are different, where Toy Bonnie has a full row of teeth on the bottom and then 2 buck teeth on the top. But Shadow Freddy, he has 2 full rows of teeth, top and bottom. So Shadow Bonnie has more teeth than Toy Bonnie. And then if you look at the full character model, Shadow Bonnie is a little shorter and a little bit chunkier than Toy Bonnie. Now, who does that sound like? A Bonnie animatronic who's a bit bigger than Toy Bonnie and has a top and bottom row of teeth. Now, your first thought, like mine, was, oh, maybe that's FNAF's one Bonnie. Now, however, though, that's not the case. Take a close look at Bonnie in that game as he jump scares you. I did too. And you'll notice he only has one row of teeth, the bottom. His the top faceplate doesn't have any teeth underneath it. So, who is it then? It's Springtrap, the other performing suit from Fredbear's Family Diner. Next, take a look at both animatronics. What do you notice about them? They're both shadows. I know, stating the obvious. Yes, I'm researching shadow animatronics and I'm pointing out that they're both shadows. You may think I'm ridiculous. A little bit, but that's besides the point. But look at their eyes and their teeth. They're not shadows. They're the only thing that can be clearly seen. Eyes and teeth being the only thing that can be seen. Now, where have I heard that before? It's from the very first phone call on the very first night of FNAF 1.
So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth when they pop out the front of the mask.
Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, he's talking about the animatronics, not the Springlock suits. And I say, true, but, however, both suits function the same way. It's just that the Springlock suits allow performers to hop into the suits, and, for proof behind that, it's the FNAF 3 Night 2 phone call, where he says, quote, "We have two specially designed suits that double as both animatronics and suits," end quote. Third, look at the way they are shown. To me, they look similar to Springtrap being springlocked in the FNAF 3 8-bit minigame, where Shadow Bonnie is him right before he gets springlocked, and Shadow Freddy is him after he gets springlocked and he collapses to the ground. Next, let's switch gears away from why the Shadow animatronics are two performers from the Fredbear's Family Diner location to now, how are they the spirits of two performers from that location? Now, we are going to be using the books up here to kind of help us prove this theory. So if you don't like the books, don't like their canonicity, whatever it is you don't like about them, there is a complaint box down below. It's called the subscribe button. Just hit that with a complaint in your heart and it will let me know what your complaint is. And if you don't have a complaint, you can also hit that subscribe button and it'll mean a lot to me. First, one main thing throughout the series is that the fact that spirits are an important thing and can stick around after the fact of their deaths. A great example of this is the 8-bit cutscene of FNAF 3, where we see the 5 missing children's harassing and cornering William Afton, where he then gets into his Spring Bonnie suit and gets spring locked and stuff. And we know that the ghosts stick around because this is 8 years after their death, at the very least. It could be more, but we know for a fact it's at least 8 years. Second, in the epilogue of the book 1:35 a.m., we read about a Dr. Phineas who collects a bunch of haunted objects looking for items that are energized by agony. Now, what this story tells us is that when something that experiences enough agony, it can become haunted by it. Now, what is something that seems very haunted and very supernatural and not normal at all? The Shadow animatronics. And for further proof that these things are supernatural and haunted, we're going to take a look at the book written by the man himself, the person who, when he speaks it, it becomes canon, Scott Coffin, the FNAF Ultimate Guidebook. On page 281, quote, "A shadow version of Toy Bonnie, similar to Golden Freddy, doesn't appear to follow normal laws of physics, appearing and disappearing at will, phasing through various minigames in FNAF 3. And, quote again on page 282, "A shadow bear animatronic similar to RWQFSFASXC. Shadow Freddy moves mysteriously, seemingly appearing and disappearing at random." Boom. Right there, clear as crystal. These two quotes pretty much spell out that these two are ghostly in a way and aren't normal. Now, I know the quote up there does say that it's a shadow version of Toy Bonnie. However, though, I already talked about how it's different than Shadow Bonnie. That Shadow Bonnie is different than Toy Bonnie. And how there's visual differences between the two. So there's a little wrinkle there if you want to look at that. But besides that, they look different. But now if we listen to what Dr. Phineas is talking about, how objects can become energized with agony. What's something that would become energized with agony? 2 spring-locked mascot suits that caused the death of 2 performers. And we know that the golden suits are in FNAF 2 because of the Night 6 phone call. Here, take a listen.
The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Finally, have you noticed where the animatronics appear? Bonnie appears in your office and Freddy in the parts and service room. Now, why is that important? They're places where limited people would be, and they're away from the main party area. Now, why is that important, and where have we heard that from before? It's the FNAF 3 night phone call on how to deal with if there's an incident with the spring lock suits of what you're supposed to do. Here, listen.
In the case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
There we have it. The shadow animatronics are the spirits of 2 employees who got killed in the original FNAF location. But remember, this is just someone talks about something. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas for another video, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want more FNAF, go check out the last video where I ranked every FNAF game. However, if you want another theory video, go and check out the Henry Danger theory video. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Peace out.